Yep.
Yes, it takes a little more time to actually build the list, but you can really invest time in calling these people and sending mail pieces out and trying to contact them any way that you possibly can. All right, so when we're looking at putting together and building our lead list, obviously we can go to the county records, we can pull data from PropStream and different tools, but at the end of the day, the best list that you could ever build is a list that you build yourself. And the best way to do this is by driving for dollars. Now, driving for dollars is just what it sounds like, right? But you're literally getting in the car, and you're going down these streets, right, neighborhood streets, and you're looking for vacant, abandoned, distressed, or some type of issues on these houses where the house looks like it needs a little bit of an uplift, right?
Yep.
So I have my boy Aubrey step in today. Aubrey,
glad to be here.
Yeah, bro. Aubrey's crushing. We've closed a few deals over the past year.
Yep.
Together.
Been a little stagnant lately, but it's part of the hustle.
I'm telling you, bro, out of winter season, bro, like a lot of investors across the industry, business just slowed down, dude. Like, inventory was super low.
Yeah. A lot of people trying to hold on because feeling like, FOMO.
That's what it is.
Missing out. So, But, driving for dollars, man, tried and true method. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of sweat equity goes into it, but hey, a lot of times when you're driving for dollars like that, you find properties that no one will really be able to find just by pulling a list. So being a little more in the trenches is a lot of times give you more opportunities to jump on something that someone else doesn't know about. Because like when you put in those lists, everyone can pull that same list. Yeah. And everyone's calling the same numbers. I like it, man.
I think that's the quickest way to get a deal, right? So if you're just starting out, I'm going to send our new members straight to the Driving for Dollars portal because one, sweat equity, we want to get them out in the trenches where they can familiarize themselves with these neighborhoods.
Know what you're looking for.
And then look at distressed houses, right, and be able to pinpoint them and start building that internally. Right, so we use a tool called Deal Machine, right? It's probably the best app on the market. You create an account online where you have a lot of back-end access, but there's also an app, right, that you pull up on your phone. So we'll have a link inside of the training with this where you can access your free trial with Deal Machine. But really it's simple. You pop it up, get in your car, you're just driving in these neighborhoods. And the app, it tracks you, right? It's got a GPS built into it, and it's got property data that's aggregated into the tool where you can follow the app, and whenever you see one of these houses that stands out, ping, you drop a pin on it, right? And you're literally building your own list in-house. So you drive for a couple hours a day, right? You might pull out, let's say, 10 houses a day. And let's say you drove 3 days a week. At the end of that week, you're gonna have 30 houses inside of your database, right? They're your own houses, and you know that based on the appearance from the street view, that these houses need some love, they need some work. And what does that tell you when you see a house that's a little bit, looks abandoned or looks run down?
Usually no one's there. It's been empty, vacant for a long time. Not necessarily always the case, but usually, pretty much means that it's been sitting there, and you never know, they might be willing to sell it.
So that's going to be your highest motivation, right? Yes, it takes a little more time to actually build the list, but you can really invest time in calling these people and sending mail pieces out and trying to contact them any way that you possibly can.
And makes it a little more personal too.
It does.
So one thing we've been focusing on is trying to make it like I said, a more personal approach. A lot of times people look at these big institutional buyers and they kind of get a little scared off versus the average, I hate to say Joe Blow, but the average investor, the average local investor riding by, it's just a little more personal approach. So,
and we talk about that a lot inside of the training as well. Like, what are we doing? What is our marketing message that's going to separate us, differentiate us from everyone else? Right? We want to stand apart from the competition. Now, there's a couple mail pieces that we like to use because They do stand out, right? They're like the postcards, but they're the half size.
Exactly.
Right? A lot bolder. But a lot of different strategies with it. But in this case, your marketing message is everything. Or how you talk to that seller and how you build rapport.
Exactly.
But for people that are just starting, right, we want to highlight some of those distress points that you're looking for. So when you're driving for dollars, what are the top things that you're looking for when you're cruising down the street?
So something that stood out to me was the most, I drive through a lot of the areas, you know, day to day driving. And as I'm driving through these I'm driving through these neighborhoods and I'm seeing certain houses. A lot of the times I look at the trash can. So of course trash get picked up every week. So if I drive by this house one day, you know, okay, trash cans in the same spot, and drive by this house again the next week, trash cans in the same spot. And that was kind of like a niche type of thing that I look for in properties.
Or if it's trash day, who didn't take their trash to the road?
Exactly. Right? So you know, little stuff like that. Of course, you know, the obvious, you see broken windows, a lot of the times no trespassing signs, you know, just high grass, just anything would make it look like no one's been living in that property.
I look at the driveway a lot too. Like when there's a lot of pine needles, and you can tell a car, no traffic has gone over that driveway in months, right?
Yeah.
I always look at the driveway, and if it's just covered in debris and leaves and shrubs.
And like I said, you know, some of these, especially like with the trash can thing, and I'm hitting back on it because a lot of times properties won't necessarily look distressed for it to have been sitting there vacant for a long time. And you know, a lot of times, sometimes you can miss out on a lead like that, possibly just by it not necessarily looking like it's vacant. So you try to find different little ways to see if that property, you know, may actually be vacant without it looking obviously distressed. Because some people have a property and they actually keep it up just because they don't want to, you know, the county or something to come by and give them a violation for something like that. So you know, so it's all this is good. Just find ways to try, you know, just see if that thing is actually sitting vacant. So you know,
or even look at the electrical meter, and if you see little red tag, tag on the electrical meter, again, you got to be creeping real slow, right, to be able to look at it. But if it's a house that looks like it's kind of run down, see if that meter's got a tag.
And I'm telling you something else that I do. If I ride by a house a while and I notice other houses around it always have cars in the yard, I'll actually knock on the door. Hey, sorry to bother you. Or you know, somebody might be outside. Just the other day, I was driving through a neighborhood, you know, like being said, creeping through, and saw a guy standing out in his yard, and literally like right next door to him. I didn't see this house driving because I was looking at the other side. Came back out, saw a house right beside him. Like, hey man, you know the thing about this house here? And he was like, yeah, someone actually is, you know, has already bought it, looking to fix it up. And you know, we're just having a little conversation, and within that conversation, he actually told me that he was thinking about selling his house in a couple of years. So just by having just a little brief conversation, you might have missed out on this one, but you never know what you could get out of someone else. And someone that's been living in that area for a long time can actually tell you probably what's going on in that area. Just because you didn't have that one opportunity, now you know you still give yourself a shot at, you know, something down the road.